Oh, there you go. Welcome to Keto on the Couch, episode, I think it's 189.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome.
Yes, if you are new here to Keto Beyond the Couch,
I just said that.
please leave a comment down below.
Here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos. We do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch, where we just kind of talk about what's going on in our lives for the week.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time I'm a 1980s camp counselor at a seemingly fine summer camp, you'll be alerted to it.
Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch. Look at my new hat that my son got me.
It was so funny. He came over yesterday and he was like, does Dad have this one? I feel like he has to have a hardcore carnivore hat. And I was like, no, that wide open with the gift giving. And we accept everything. And so
and I love hats.
And Michelle was like, no, he has an actual stake on a hat. I know that.
Yes.
But not this
Miriam
particular
got me
one.
that hat at
Thank you,
KetoCon.
Miriam.
So if you are new here, Keto Beyond the Couch is all about subscribers. We like to celebrate wins, put up success stories, answer questions and comments from this past week that we found on Mighty Networks or Facebook or on our YouTube channel. Now, I do want to say today's Keto Beyond the Couch is sponsored. It is sponsored by Perfect Keto.
Thanks, Perfect Keto.
And if you don't know what Perfect Keto is, they have a bunch of keto-friendly nutritional supplements. They have some snacks, like my favorite thing is Nola bars. They have the Mallow Munch bars. We really enjoy their collagen in our coffee, as well as the MCT oil powder. They also make some good electrolytes that have no maltodextrin if you really want one that doesn't have any maltodextrin in it.
Well, my side ponytail is sponsored in part by their collagen, right?
Nice.
In addition to beef butter, bacon, and eggs, if you're looking for a side ponytail, try Perfect Keto.
You sound like a commercial. So they're having a Halloween sale. The Halloween sale is 31% off of $75 or more, plus free shipping, plus you get a free super fat macadamia coconut nut butter. That's
Yum.
a lot to say.
That
Coconut
is
nut
a
butter.
lot, and we don't say those things well.
If you need to get some Perfect Keto stuff, go ahead and use the link down below. We appreciate everybody for supporting the sponsors who support Two Crazy Ketos.
Thank you, guys.
Speaking of sponsors, Keto Brick sponsors our podcasts, and they sponsored yesterday's live stream. Buttered maple pecan is out.
Oh, it's done?
Huh?
Oh,
No. It's like in stock.
Okay, good.
Like they have it.
It sells out very fast.
There should be a link down below. Okay, there's a link for Keto Brick, but what we need to do is add in a code. If you use the code 2crazyketos on your first order, you will get a free brick. The way you have to do that is you're going to put your order in, and then you make a separate line item for one free brick of your choosing, and that becomes free when you use the link and the code 2crazyketos. People were having problems. So I'm going to read to you an email that I got from Crystal.
At 8:30 this morning.
Early this morning, if I can find it.
Because remember,
I've got like 5,000 emails
it's
already.
one family that's making Keto Brick, right?
Yes.
Like it's one company.
Sasha, let's see, Crystal.
You could probably just
there you go,
put
Crystal.
her name into it.
Okay, so Crystal, this is what she wrote to me. For those of you who are having problems, I wanted to reach out regarding the launch of Buttered Maple Pecan. Some people had said the code wasn't working, but it is working. The code works, but it was only set for full-time flavors. They didn't have it set up for the Buttered Maple Pecan for limited flavors.
Yeah.
So they have fixed that, and they are going and sending anybody who had emailed them a free Buttered Maple Pecan brick rather than one of the full-time flavors if you would email them. So again, Crystal and Robert are
Super awesome
people. They have really good customer service. You just have to remember it's them and 5 people that are like family for them.
That's the whole company.
She's like, they have figured out how to do it with the limited edition flavors. If anybody is having issues, just reach out to Crystal or reach out to the team and they will fix it.
Yeah.
So if you were trying to order, you tried to use the coupon code on your order and it didn't work, go ahead and message them and they will fix it.
Don't
and
you
we
love
appreciate them for
sweet
sponsoring our
people?
channel. Yeah.
I just love sweet people. I love good customer service and sweet people.
So, okay, you ready?
I sure am.
Let's jump into, before we even get into anything,
So I shouldn't be ready.
No, I wanted to mention, if you're new here, the way Keto on the Couch works.
Hi.
So the way we do this is we used to do it like recorded. Now we do it live. So we're going to go through our whole Keto on the Couch. We don't really pay too much attention to the chat unless something happens to notice it. Jen says butter maple pecan is sold out.
Already? See, that's what I was afraid of.
Check in the other options.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the month is sold out, but not the 2 weeks.
Right, because what they do is they try to allocate enough for like people who want a 7-day supply.
Like I ordered a month supply.
People who want a 2-week supply and people who want a month supply.
Wow, I can't believe that it's sold out already.
It's because it's awesome. Like honestly, I've been waiting all year for it to come back.
Buttered maple pecan.
Let's see.
Notice sold out.
Totally sold out.
Wow.
Dang.
I'm sorry for even mentioning it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just, that's why.
Maybe they're going to have more. I don't know.
We talk about it.
You can message them.
You know, we talk about it a lot the day it comes out because we just know it's super popular. Not just within the keto community, but also within the workout community. You know, you have a lot of people, whether they're keto or not, that they want good food that's going to fuel their workout. And they're quitting with all of those like high carb before you have a workout thing. This is like really taking root in
we're
gyms
actually
and
we're going to Universal Studios. We're going to be there until about 1 in the morning. So we are bringing a keto brick with us, and that's probably going to be our lunch/dinner.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you're new here, we don't really pay too much attention to the chat right now. We look at in the last 10, 15 minutes, so hold off your questions to the end. If you want us to address something right now based on like something that we're talking about, go ahead. Robert said they're making more of another run this week, so check back later this week.
Thanks, Jen.
So all you have to do is use the super chat function. That's the little $sign thing down below. Are you ready?
Sure am.
Let's jump into our Keto College Adjunct Professor of the Week. This one was from Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Michelle put up this little meme. It said, the struggle from today is the strength you feel tomorrow. Don't give up. Don't give in. You've got this.
Oh, my gosh. Michelle. You are speaking to me right now. You are speaking to me this week. I have gotten back, now that we are home, there is absolutely no excuses for me not moving my body every single day and like getting a good workout in. And I see people like Jen Delaney, I see people like Sarah Gustafson not making any excuses. They're getting out there. They're not letting like the cold temperatures, you know, talk them out of, you know, working out. And so that's what I'm doing. So I'm 8 days in like solid now to a workout routine, which I'm super proud of. And I think to myself this morning, you know what? Getting up is getting easier every single day.
You're not waking me up.
The first day, it stunk. Of course it stunk. It's brand new. But you know what? Every single day, I am gaining strength. I'm gaining strength to do this, and I feel awesome. So thank you. That was for me, Michelle. Absolutely.
I just want to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's get into our subscriber of the weeks. These are like success stories, non-scale victories we find on Facebook or Mighty Networks. We ask you all the time, please share your story.
Yes,
your story
please.
is so important. Because number one, it's going to remind you of where you came from. But number two, what it's going to do is it's going to let somebody else know they're not alone. There's somebody out there right now who thinks that nobody else understands what it's like to have type 2 diabetes and do this. Nobody else understands what it's like to have to give up sugar. They think that they're alone. And when you share your story, your struggle, your success, they're like, oh, okay, other people get it, and I can do it. And you cannot do this. First of all, you can't live life without community.
No.
But eating this lifestyle, you need community.
Here's the thing. You shouldn't live life alone, and you don't have to.
Right.
You don't have to. Yep. You know, God is good, and you are loved. Yep. You are loved right now. You need to be in a community.
So first one we have is from Gwen.
Hey, Gwen.
Gwen said, non-scale victory. I'm 57 years old. I just finished hiking the Grand Canyon, my first time.
Wow.
South Kebab to Phantom Ranch to Bright Angel Trails.
Oh my
20
goodness.
plus grueling miles in one day. See my before. I lost 40 pounds since April, and I'm at goal weight with a healthy BMI. I started keto after I did a small hike at the canyon, and boy, did I suffer.
Yes.
Decided the weight had to go. We did some carbs the week before the hike and during the hike, but did great. We trained for months as this hike in one day is extremely
I
difficult.
imagine it is.
We are planning on going from North Rim to the South Rim in May. I do
do.
want to lose another 5 to 10 pounds to make it easier. You ready?
Ah, Gwen, you are rocking it, girl. Absolutely fantastic. Oh my gracious, I love that. You know what I love even more than the phenomenal weight loss that you've experienced? You're doing something with it. Let's not lose weight, get healthy, and not do something with it.
Experience life beyond the couch.
Let's go beyond the couch. Way to go. Man, she's going far beyond the couch. She's going all the way through the Grand Canyon. Wow.
Okay.
20 miles.
Ready?
Yes.
Next one is from Jania.
Hey, Jania.
Today, I get to celebrate my birthday,
Yay!
feeling so blessed to have found the keto way of eating. Thankful for the amazing doctors and knowledgeable keto people that have YouTube channels that teach me every day how to improve my health without selling me expensive food supplements, projects, or gadgets. Thankful for this amazing community that inspires me to try my best. Living every day making healthy choices is not easy all the time,
No,
but
it's
when we
not.
surround ourselves with great people, it is so much better.
It really is. Oh, Jania, look at both of you. Oh my gracious. Look at these cute lovebirds. And where did you get that awesome denim dress? Because it fits absolutely so perfectly, so lovely. I love that thing so much. What a cute couple. And the smiles on your faces say it all.
Yeah.
Health, feeling good in our bodies. I love it. Great job.
Let's go ahead and take a quick fade to black and come back with all the comments.
That sounds like that would be an 80s sound to a horror film, right?
This is not sponsored, but I have to mention this peppermint pinwheel came out on Friday.
He's obsessed with it.
I'm obsessed with it. I ordered way too much.
Y'all, we do not work for Nespresso.
No, we don't make a dime from them.
We do not make a dime off of these.
No.
But oh my gracious.
I ordered way too
We
much,
love
and
it.
then John Paul showed up and said he ordered almost as much as me. And it's only one of them drinking coffee because Michelle doesn't
drink coffee.
But
so, yeah.
okay, so if you have Nespresso, if you like Andy's candies, this peppermint pinwheel mixed with a tablespoon of this.
Oh my gosh, it's over the top. If you are a chocolate mint person, which I wasn't always, but being married to this gentleman over here and also having
love
John
chocolate
Paul
mint.
as a son, you needed to learn to like mint chocolate because they have always been.
How did you not like Andy's candies?
Well, I'm starting to like it now. My grandmother
I
absolutely
would sit there and
loved
buy
it.
a box of an unwrap 'em all.
Maybe I associate it with like an old lady chocolate habits.
Could be.
Could
maybe.
be.
Okay.
I love you, old lady.
Ola wants to join for the hike in the Grand Canyon.
Me too.
First comment we have is from Tracy.
Hey, Tracy.
Said, my husband saw Rachel's costume and asked, is that your fashion consultant? I'm taking that as a high praise to both of us,
Okay.
from one Halloween obsessed girl to
Okay,
another.
thank you so much, Tracy. I'm so glad that I'm not alone, and I will proudly claim you and you claim me. So, like, oh my gosh, I love it. So, I'm expecting somebody out there. I want to see you and place in either Mighty Networks or in the Facebook family group your side ponytail for today, because we bringing it back, yo. My hair didn't even know what to do with it. When I was a little kid, like in the 80s, I was all about the side ponytail. I was wearing it all the time. Did your sister wear a side ponytail?
No, she had 2 ponytails till I cut them off.
Oh my gosh, you're the worst brother ever. But like, always with the side ponytail, but my hair was like, are you trying to do a comb over? What's happening right now?
So somebody asked, are these like chocolate or just peppermint? I get hints of chocolate. Maybe it's the peppermint combined.
I think it's more peppermint.
It definitely is more peppermint, but I do get notes of chocolate. But if you read the back, it says if you add a dash of milk or heavy cream, the lingering notes of peppermint soften to achieve a well-balanced milky cup.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get hints of chocolate, but it could be me.
Talk about, okay, so I know that this is mint and you kind of associate that
People
with
are
like,
asking, do they have sweeteners? No, there's no sweeteners
No
in any
sweetener.
of the espressos.
There's like, okay, so you think of mint as like this Christmas time drink, right? We were drinking it this morning with like a tablespoon of keto chow. It looked like
It's the keto chow.
green sludge. It was the perfect Halloween coffee.
Keto
I
chow
think.
mint chocolate is really good, but does not have a very appetizing look.
We used pistachio for the baby shower. If you're looking for super cutesy, that made the perfect like cutesy color to me.
Okay, ready? Next one is from Paul.
Hey Paul, my better half is doing the HCG diet. It's difficult to have non-keto foods in the house. That's my biggest problem. She also doesn't like me eating too much fat. Might be a good podcast show. Thanks so much for the idea.
That is a good idea. What you might want to do is gently, politely, lovingly just refer her to maybe some of Dr. Berry's videos about fat and help to lovingly educate her on it's not the fat that's the issue. It's the types of fats and where are we getting fat from.
Well, I also think I'm going to take this from a playlist from Siobhan Huggins. So she was trying to talk to her dad about like the way he eats. He was a type 2 diabetic at the time. And so she was like, I know that you probably have a little bit of like powdered butt syndrome because you're my dad and I'm your daughter, and like, you know, you don't want me to give you, you know, advice on diet because you're older than me. Why don't you go and get some labs done? Go get some labs done. Let's eat this diet for 3 months and then get labs done again. And I think that that is something that we can absolutely leverage. You can go to Own Your Labs and get labs done very, very cheaply because you're going to be able to give your precious partner like some relief, right? So they're worried about you. They don't know what butter and bacon and steak is doing inside of your body. So show them it's doing inside of your body. Go get labs, then say, okay, in 3 months, we're gonna get labs again, and let's see where my numbers are as far as like my A1C especially. Let's look at what my remnant cholesterol looks like, that cholesterol that doesn't have any job to do in my body. And then we'll see how we're doing. And I think that, you know, take it to the science and stop making it like, you know, kind of an emotional discussion. I think it really helps to just see the lab results.
Yeah, people ask us all the time, and I always tell people like always present something as 30 days. Like, hey, give me 30 days. Hey, give me 60 days. If you're working on somebody who's like on the fence about trying keto, say, do me a favor, do it for 30 days. Do it for 30 days, full for 30 days, and then I will never bother you again.
Right. But I think that, you know, for lab results, I think that that can be a powerful thing. And you can say, let's get it done now. And then I will get my labs done again in like January, February in the new year and see how are we doing.
Right. Okay, ready? Next one is from Nicholas.
Hey, Nicholas and Chrissy.
Can you recommend a continuous glucose monitor?
Sure.
As we talked about last week, I strongly recommend everybody at least one time get a CGM. I think it's
interesting.
It really puts your mind at ease or lets you know some things that you maybe didn't know but needed to know. As far as CGMs, the best one for us, unless you are a diabetic, especially a type 1, who is reliant on knowing your glucose at all times so that you can medicate yourself.
Yes.
The best one for us is going to be the Freestyle Libre. Number one, it's a lot cheaper.
It's
a lot cheaper. The Dexcom is really nice, but it's like 4 times the cost. It does have advantages, like at any given time, you can just pick up your phone and you can see what your current glucose is. And you can see this nice line, whereas with the Freestyle, you actually have to take your phone and scan it.
Yeah.
The Dexcom, you can calibrate it, and I don't know about the newer Freestyles, but I know the older ones, which is what I have in our house, you can't really calibrate it. The one thing I will say with them is make sure you're hydrated with fluids as well as your sodium and stuff, because they're using the interstitial fluid. If you're way dehydrated, it's going to give you an elevated glucose. So that's where you just double check with a finger stick or something like that. But I think the best one, the most cost-effective one for us is a Freestyle Libre.
Well, and I really enjoyed
And
going
I've used both.
through NutriSense too.
That's if you can't get a prescription.
Well, the other thing that I like about NutriSense is the fact that you get a person assigned to you. So get a CGM, but like, are you interpreting all of the numbers and having a conversation with somebody about what you see, or are you just using it to like panic about stuff? And I do recommend that whether you go through NutriSense, get somebody that can look at those numbers and really interpret, what you're looking at. Because again, if you do not have type 1 or type 2 diabetes even, and you're just using a CGM for the first time, you may not understand what you're looking at, right? So make sure you're understanding what you're looking at, and please do me a favor, don't just be testing before and after you eat. I want you to test before and after. Check that thing before and after you're happy about something. You watch a funny movie. Yeah. You watch a scary movie. You have a fight with your boss. You get stressed out about something. You want to be seeing all of the numbers in context. Yeah. Because out of context, you may be like, oh my gosh, this hamburger really hurt me. No, it wasn't. It was you stressing out about something earlier, right?
And the thing about the Freestyle that I actually think is better than a Dexcom is you can really zoom in on timestamps and timestamp it better than you can with the Dexcom, because the Dexcom is just constantly reading it. With the Freestyle, so long as you're scanning it every so often, it will give you like all of the peaks. It's not like it only knows when you scan it.
Yeah.
So if you scan it and then scan it an hour later, it's going to show you all the peaks over that hour. Okay, ready? Let's get into the next one. It's from Norma.
Hey, Norma. I am a 71-year-old female. I have been doing keto. I started at 369 pounds. I am now 340 pounds. I can't get below 340. I do intermittent fasting. I do keto bread sometimes. I cheat with tomatoes and onions at times. I don't think I can do the triple B and E financially. I live on Social Security. Any suggestions?
I have a few suggestions. I do want to add on to this is there was another post immediately after this. I forgot to mention my A1C went from, it was somewhere around 11 something to a 6.
Wow, that's incredible already.
Cannot be done with medicine. Let's just go there right now.
Norma, that is awesome.
Okay, so first of all, your A1C has gone way down, so that's a big positive. It could be your body needs to heal more. But as far as going from 369, 340, and now you're stuck, how much are you eating? Are you eating enough food? Were you severely calorie restricting? If you were severely calorie restricting, you may be in a stall because your body's metabolism has slowed down. And really, the only way out of that is either lower more, which I really never advise unless you're eating the appropriate amount of fuel as it is, or you need to reverse back up and start eating more fuel so that you can increase your metabolism. Number 2, stop with the keto bread.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can be very undermining.
I know this is an unpopular opinion, and I know because people have personally emailed me
that they don't like
they don't like us for saying this.
They do not like us for saying this.
All of the keto breads that are on the market are garbage.
Garbage.
Not all.
Anything
that you can buy in
the
a
store. There you go.
If it says 0 net carbs or 1 net carb,
run.
Most likely it is garbage.
Yes.
Okay, because if you look at the ingredients, it's got fiber. If they're using a whole bunch of vital wheat gluten, don't use that stuff. It is negatively impacting you regardless of what your keto mojo says.
Yeah.
It is not really 0 carb. Mm-hmm. If you want bread, either once in a while, have something like the Foxtail or make your own where you're using things like psyllium husk and I'm trying to think of what else you use.
Or make mug
seeds,
breads.
Or you can make our Carnivore mug bread.
It's delicious.
Or you could make the Maria Emmerich bread, or you could make the butter bread that Indigo Nelly, which I think is probably one of the best things out there. Or you can use Egg Life wraps. But stop with the 0 carb breads or the breads that you buy in the store.
And it ain't cheap all the time.
They're not very good for you. They bring inflammation. They're not good. And it's companies taking advantage of us.
Yeah.
Cheating with tomatoes and onions it's not cheating. They may not be good for you.
Right.
Because both of them bring antitoxins to your body. They're anti-nutrients. So you might want to cut them back. you might need to dial your carbs back. You probably need to be somewhere around 10 to 15 total carbs or less. That's the other thing. Make sure you're doing total carbs, not net carbs.
I love what
That's
Becky
the
said.
first place I go is just don't do total not net carbs. Don't do net carbs.
I like what Becky says. Listen to General Akbar. It's a trap. The keto breads. It's a trap. That's exactly right.
And then finally, I don't think I can do BBB financially. You can eat beef, butter, bacon, and egg cheaper than pretty much almost any keto thing.
Yes.
If you are willing to eat a bunch of ground beef and eggs, it is one of the cheapest ways to eat keto.
You
can do beef, butter, bacon, and egg with hot dogs.
That's right.
I would rather, we said this on Sunday, I would rather somebody go to the store and buy the 99-cent pack of hot dogs that are filled with garbage ingredients over eating a bunch of non-keto food.
Exactly.
And I have learned, by the way, in my investigation for making our own hot dogs, there is a reason that hot dogs have non-fat dried milk or soy protein isolates and things like that.
Why is that?
It is a binder that also prevents it helps the fat stay in the sausage or hot dog so that it becomes a juicier one. Without it, you would get a very dry, very lean hot dog that isn't very good because the fat will come out of it.
I feel like I don't need any more moisture to the hot dogs we're making. I feel like I bite in it and then like it becomes a splash zone.
But the last set, I did not do that. So there is a way around it, but you have to be like an expert sausage maker. And it comes down to working with the meat. The meat always has to be 34 degrees or less.
Okay.
So you have to, when you're mixing it, you got to mix it, put it back in the freezer, get it cold, mix it, put it back in the freezer, get it cold. When you're emulsifying, you got to keep it cold. When you're stuffing it, you've got to keep it at 34 to 36 degrees. If you overcook it when you're smoking it, like I'm in the market right now for another smoker.
Oh, Lord help us.
Because we are down a rabbit hole of sausages, and you really need to smoke at like 120 to 130 degrees, but my smokers don't go lower than 180, which will render all the fat out and not give you a good sausage. So there is a reason behind it. I've been talking to Chris and finding out
from Keto Chow.
Can I substitute Keto Chow or a milk protein isolate?
Wow.
For that.
Worth
Or
a shot.
non-fat dried milk will work, but it's just higher in carbs. But over the course of all of your hot dogs, it's probably going to add 1 to 2 carbs to hot dog. But that's why that stuff is in your hot dogs.
Good to know at least
At
why
least I know why it's there now. Because I was always like, why is there a soy protein isolate in my hot dog?
And now you
know.
know.
But anyway, you can do beef, butter, bacon, egg very cheaply. If you can afford keto breads, then we can afford beef, butter, bacon, and egg.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Next one is from Wendy.
Hey, Wendy. Weight loss for some of us does not come easy. Amen, Wendy. I'm right there with you.
Me too.
I've been keto carnivore now for 4 years and have only gained fat. I am just now learning that eating too much protein has caused my glucose to get high, not diabetic, to keep me from getting into ketosis. Please discuss the downside of carnivore that people need to be aware of that are not metabolically fit.
Okay. There's no downside to carnivore.
Yeah, I feel like finally the deeper we go and the closer we stay to really triple B and E, which for the most, I mean, it's carnivore, the better I feel. I feel like we're finally moving past the stalls. You know, I'm having some really good results. I definitely think that you want to, you know, do something with that mobility. I'm enjoying building strength now, you know, doing the pull-ups and push-ups and things like that. I'm enjoying like working out my arms and like and my legs, and, you know, I'm doing a lot of, you know, crunches and also squats and stuff like that. So I'm excited that I'm using my fuel to also, you know, build in me. But yeah, I haven't experienced that.
Well, it's not even experience. It's like, here's the thing. There are no downsides to carnivore physically or like when it comes to our body. There is one downside is for some people, it could get boring.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I get
For
that.
some people, it could be boring. For me, carnivore is not sustainable because sometimes I want a keto break. So, you know, sometimes I want a jalapeno popper, but I still eat about 90 to 95% carnivore. The more unmetabolically fit you are, the more metabolically damaged you are, the closer you need to be to carnivore.
Yeah.
Your glucose is not going up because you're eating a lot of protein as much as you're probably not eating enough fuel.
There you go. You
see
fat.
a lot of people who eat a lot of protein, like very high protein, but then they're like, well, I have fat on my body, so I don't need to eat any fat. Yes, you do. Your body needs fat to be able to actually start getting fat adapted. So you need to be eating at least 1 gram of protein to 1 gram of fat and then elevate the fat or increase the fat from there.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, we don't need to be, unless you're Robert Sykes or Danny Vega or Coach Bronson Dant, you don't need to be eating 250, 300, 350 grams of protein a day.
Right.
If you have a day with that much protein, is it going to hurt you? No, but you don't need to eat that much.
On the regular.
100 grams a day should be a good minimum for most people. And, anywhere between 100 to 150, I think, is a great place to be. Bronson has talked a lot about that as well. But you need to be increasing your fat. If you're eating protein and not eating enough fuel, which is fat, and when you're having carnivore, the only other fuel you would have would be carbohydrates. But if you're eating carnivore, you're not really getting carbohydrates unless you're eating a bunch of liver and stuff, or just a ton of eggs. But you can eat 5 dozen eggs if you want. Go ahead. You're going to slow down your metabolism, and then your body's going to create more glucose. So it's not the protein, it's the fat. You're not eating enough
up the fat.
Yeah. John said,
hey, John.
Missed a live stream working, but was wondering, is it bad if you go over your net carbs but stay under total carbs? If you're doing 20-50 cap and you ate like 26-40. Okay. No, it is not bad if you go over your net carbs. I'd rather see you just putting your total carbs to 30 to 40. But it can be bad if you go over your net carbs, even if you're staying under your total, if it's because of certain foods.
Yeah.
Right? So why are you going over your net carbs? Is it because maybe you're eating sugar? If you're eating sugar, and so for example, here's a great, and this is a trap that I fell into when I first got started on keto. And I was all about like, okay, net carbs, but having a total carb cap. Because even in my first year, I remember very early on, someone said eat 20 net carbs, but no more than 50 total carbs, and you're going to be fine. Of course, they were saying 50 total carbs, like because you're eating vegetables and things like that. My feeling was something like Tic Tacs. There's a carb in a serving of Tic Tac. It actually shows up as 0 carbs, but it's not.
That was my go-to thing because it was like no calories.
What if I have 1 Oreo cookie, which has 10 carbs or something like that? It's like a ridiculous number. It's like 10 carbs for like 1 cookie. Somebody could probably look it up.
Man.
I'm guessing it's been a long time since I looked at it. But so I would have 10 carbs, but none of it is deductible because none of it is fiber or anything. So I would end up being under my total carbs, but still be way over my net carbs. If you're having the sugar and stuff, that's not the answer. Just dump net carbs. Just follow total carbs and increase it to 30.
Yeah.
I don't think you should do over 40 unless you are brand new to this or you're super metabolically fit. If you are like our children, if you're like Anthony, who is super active, if you're like Caleb, who's pretty active, if you're like John Paul and Michelle and are into CrossFit and are super metabolically healthy, you could probably get away with 100 total carbs a day, so long as you're not eating sugar, grains, and pasta and stuff like that, and still be in and out of ketosis all day long. But if you're not, if you're older like us, if you've screwed up your body your whole life,
like us,
you need to be under 30, probably under 20 on a regular basis. Like I would say 20 is a good place, and then once in a blue moon, maybe go to 30 or 40 total. But all of those carbs should be coming from whole foods or maybe something like acacia fiber or something like that.
If I can get anything in someone's mind, if I can be like, okay, I want you to hear Rachel's voice when you see something. When you want to go to net carbs and you're looking at a box and you're like, okay, what are the net carbs in here? I want you to hear me say, it's a trap, because it's a trap. It is a trap. That is a trap, not just the keto bread, but net carbs in general. So I want you to hear that. when you see something and you're like, oh, I really want to go net carb, it's a trap. It's a trap. Remember, Rachel. Are you giving me this?
Yeah, because Michelle said, great way to
'cause my
start
throat,
the
thank
week
you.
with Joe and Rachel. I'm getting better and better at doing total carbs instead of net carbs.
You got this, Michelle. I'm so stinking proud of you.
Let's take a quick fade to black.
Is that, did it happen?
Yes, I just hit the wrong button.
Oh, okay.
So.
I wasn't sure. So you just have me like very
Yes.
anticipatory.
Yeah,
Okay.
ready? First one is from Gloria.
Hey, Gloria.
What can I not carry
sorry.
on in an airplane as far as electrolytes, keto food supplements, etc., please? I don't want to have any thrown away. I'm checking in butter powder keto chow. Thank you. Okay, so we
totally
travel
get that.
a lot. I have never had anything thrown out other than Rachel's water that she tried to,
I forgot.
She had it
I
in
just
her bottle.
shook it up.
and so she had it in her bottle, and then she went through and was like in her 2 Crazy Ketos insulated flask.
It was in flip.
And they saw the water in the thing.
They're like, are you dumb?
And now, like, she had to go through a full pat down for
Yeah,
trying to
it's
bring
like,
it
what's
through.
wrong with you, woman? Like, hello, you're not supposed to bring like this much liquid with you.
Now, I will say in 2019, we tried to come home from KetoCon with a bunch of open packages of keto chow. And they did, like, the one test
Right,
and all
just to
that.
make sure.
My suggestion is, in your carry-on, do individual packs.
Yeah.
So, like, I've never had a problem with Redmond Real Salt. I travel with the tubs of, like, the keto collagen or the keto MCT. So long as it's in a tub and
It
it's
has a label.
I've never, ever had an issue with it. And we travel a lot. Individual packets of keto chow, that's where I use them, is for traveling like that. If you want to travel with stuff, like, not in a marked bag, put it in your, like, checked luggage.
Yeah.
We've traveled with Keto Brick, even opened ones. I've traveled with Nola bars. That is always in my backpack. Always in my backpack. And nobody has ever given. I think one time you had a problem with salt. They were like, why are you traveling with so much salt? It was like an odd question.
I get that question from a lot of people. Like, why are you here with the salt shaker? I get that at restaurants. And yes, I got that on a plane one time. But I mean, they didn't throw it out.
No.
They just were like, what are
butter
you doing with
powder,
this?
heavy whipping cream powder, unless you're traveling in the container, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in your bag, in your check-on bag. Be aware they may check your bag.
Yeah.
You know, I know that Chris and Miriam, like, every time
Bless
they
their
show up at
hearts.
a conference,
They've
they're
got-
like, there's a little tag, like, TSA went through your bag.
But they've got like 10
But they're
suitcases
traveling with,
of
like, 10
white
suitcases of
powder.
keto chow. Yeah. Next one's from Julie.
Hey, Julie, this summer I went home for the first time in 3 years. How nice. Also, the first time since revamping my life. Starting keto, joining a gym, losing 100 pounds, gaining back 20, but that's okay. I ate all my old favorites. Since coming back to normal life, I've struggled to stay on the wagon. I am super stressed. Where I live, there are convenience stores absolutely everywhere, including on the bottom floor of my building. I haven't been successful every day, but for most of the days I have. This morning, I made it to work, passing 3 stores on the way without going in. It was super difficult, but I did it. I wish I had someone in my life, someone who lived in my city, who was on the same wagon to help support me and keep me accountable and cheer me on.
First of all, congratulations.
Yes,
Julie.
that's
That is
amazing.
an awesome. It reminds me of our friend Nurse Cindy, who I
Yes.
need to contact to see if she'll come on for 11 on 11.
Yes.
And tell this story. So if you've never seen Nurse Cindy speak,
She's amazing.
then you need to see this.
Yeah.
And if you have seen her, you're going to know what I'm talking about, where she talks about her realization where she had gone into a convenience store, like a 7-Eleven kind of thing, and for the first time in her life, she didn't come out with snacks.
And it was that moment when she knew, okay, keto has stuck for me. I just got a cup of coffee. I got back into my car. Everything is, and I didn't, get the snowball or whatever. And that is the first day that she went Facebook Live and began sharing her journey with all of us in the keto community. And I'm so thankful for that moment that you realize, wow, I actually passed 3 stores today.
Right.
That's awesome.
So here's what I want you to do. You're looking for some support and somebody to keep you accountable. You have an entire community with 2 Crazy Ketos to keep you accountable. So here's what I want you to do. Whether you are only in Facebook, I don't know if you're in our, I'm pretty sure you're in our Mighty Networks group. or there's a lot of people. If you go jump into Mighty Networks, like Chris, I see her on here. She will
Yes.
absolutely join it. Here's what I want you to do. Every time you walk past or into a convenience store and walk out without buying it, I want you to put a picture or a post onto Facebook or onto Mighty Networks going, I did it.
We want to know.
I actually went into a store and didn't buy junk food.
Yeah, we want to know.
Nobody is going to, I don't care if you do it 20 times a day. When I coach people and we come up with an accountability plan for each week, there's always something. It's not to stay accountable to me. It's to stay accountable to yourself. Like I'm coaching someone right now who is walking 3 days a week, and every time this person goes on a walk, they send me a picture of something they encounter on their walk.
Which I love.
Right? It's for them to say to me, hey, I did it, but it's really for them to hold themselves accountable, because in their mind, they have to be like, I need to do this because I don't want to disappoint myself.
I need to report in. Yeah. No, this is good. And I totally
like you guys
get
keep
it.
us accountable.
You absolutely do. And Julie, I totally get what you're saying as far as passing things on your way to work or your way home that can be, very upsetting. Even if it's not even just like non-keto stuff that you're worried about. Keto stuff that's not on my plan for eating today, I don't want to like fall down that hole, So I had to change the way I went to work before. I had to start taking the turnpike. I had to start paying to get to work because it meant that I was able to avoid all of the McDonald's and the Burger King and the, Wendy's and a couple of grocery stores that were really easy for me to, go in and get out of that had perfectly keto food that I didn't need to be eating. Yeah. It was outside of my eating plan.
Gina said, going to buy my ticket for KetoCon, whether still on sale, but nobody wants to go with me. Is anybody looking for a roommate, or is it too soon to be checking for that? I think I would definitely go into Mighty Networks and post in there, I'm looking for a roommate. I know that there are people who are looking for a roommate. Tickets are on sale through October 31st for just $100. Use the link down below. We don't make any money off of it, but we want to see 3,000 people there. And then also make sure you're bugging Autumn about Keto Palooza. But yeah, so they're $100 through October 31st, and then they're going to start going up in price. The final ticket price is going to be $300, and we're actually going to be having Robin, who is the organizer for KetoCon, is going to be on our podcast.
For you to see her beautiful face. Angel's Keto says, I use the local butcher shop. There's meat and no chance to see all the junk food.
That's great.
That is great.
Sabrina said, Mark wants to know if Joe is being mini pearl. He saw that tag is still in the bill.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Is it? That's because I literally just got this hat.
You always forget to take that tag off.
Usually it's the one on the outside.
Usually I catch it, but that was a good catch, Mark. Yeah, remember Minnie Pearl used to have like the little tag on the side of her hat?
Next one is from Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
I saw this somewhere else, but I know that someone needs this. When my family first went low carb, I was worried about throwing away food. My son developed a really helpful statement for me. The waste of money was when I bought it, not when I threw it in the trash.
Oh my goodness, that'll preach, y'all. Like that is
awesome.
Absolutely. The moment I purchased it, that's when I wasted the money. I'm not wasting money throwing it out. I'm wasting money when I buy it. And somebody is going to take that to the grocery store this week because you have been bringing stuff into your house that you know you don't need, you know you don't want to have there. And then once it's there, you're like, well, I can't eat it because that's going to be a waste of money. No, it's a waste of money if you put it in your buggy at the grocery store. Woo!
I love that.
Jamie, you just called us all out.
Next one is from Kyle.
Hi, Kyle, Debbie.
Says, I'm wondering if anyone can tell me if the 2KK chicken recipe nuggets cooked can be frozen and reheated successfully. Yes.
Yes, it absolutely can. And I totally, highly recommend anybody that has not made those chicken nuggets, make those chicken nuggets. Right now, Michelle was just talking to me last week about how she is prepping all of the food for like after the baby comes. She's like, I want to have tons of 2KK, like the meat layer lasagna. I want to have cheeseburger casserole. I want to have stuff where the taco pie. And I'm just gonna, she's making them freezing them so that they're ready to go, and then she can just pop it in the oven and doesn't have to think about, making food for a week or two when Peyton comes. And her last thing was, and I'm making a butt ton of those chicken nuggets because John Paul can put those nuggets away. Oh, I see we have a super chat. Thank you.
American Girl, thank you very much for the $4.99 super chat. Said, good morning. I'm late, but I wanted to report that I lost 50 pounds on keto. Then I did beef, butter, bacon, and egg with you and lost 18 additional pounds. Now found out I'm expecting. I will continue to eat well.
American Girl, this is so good. Oh, I'm so tickled for you. Congratulations. You better be showing us some progress pictures of your perfect little tummy as it grows with a new baby. I am so excited for you. God bless that baby and that pregnancy.
Next one is from Jolie.
Hey, Jolie.
What in the world? How is this possible? I've never had that reading before. I tried a new sweetener in my coffee. She had a glucose at 94 and her ketones being low. It's probably not the sweetener. She actually said in another post or in a follow-up post, the sweetener was just like a stevia. It's a liquid stevia.
Okay.
So it's probably not the thing. Please don't live and die by the meters.
Yeah.
They have a margin of error of 20%. Most likely you had low ketones, if you actually even had low ketones, because either A, you used up all your ketones because you were doing something. Maybe you did a workout. A lot of times your ketones will be low after a workout. It could be early in the morning. Generally, our ketones are lower in the morning. It could be you're not eating enough fat. But if you are not eating carbohydrates, your body has to be using the fat for fuel. The only time it's going to use protein for a fuel if you're not giving yourself enough fat, and therefore it's going to start creating more glucose. But it can also create glucose from free fatty acids. So it's if you're not eating carbohydrates, there is no reason to worry about it, and thus no reason to really check your ketones unless you're trying to do therapeutic levels of ketones where you're trying to have 3s and 4s, and you don't need 3s and 4s to lose weight. As a matter of fact, it's opposite. You would rather have lower ketones if you're losing weight.
No, it sounds crazy.
Yep. Okay, next one is from Wilda.
Hey, Wilda. Today I had 113 grams of protein and 158 grams of fat. How do I get more protein without adding fat, calories, or carbs? Or is this fat to protein ratio close enough?
I think you're at a good protein ratio.
I was thinking that too.
I think you're at a good protein. I think that's a good lower protein. I don't think you necessarily need to eat a lot more protein. Unless, again, you are doing tremendous working out and trying to build a lot of muscle and stuff.
Building muscle.
But I think you're at a good ratio there. You might want to increase fat. Again, it depends on what your goals are. I wouldn't go much lower than that in fat. If anything, again, 1-to-1 is a great place to start. Increase fat from there because the fat is your fuel. Most of us are under eating. If you're eating 1,200, 1,300, probably even 1,400 calories, especially if you're eating carnivore, you're not eating enough food.
Yeah.
We should be eating upwards of 1,700, 1,800, 2,000, 3,000 calories a day, but of the right foods. And again, we're not calorie people, but that's what people identify with. But you need to be looking at how much fuel you're eating, and the fuel that we're eating is fat.
American Girl says, thank you all. I'm nervous but very happy. I'm a bit older than I had my other babies, but I'm healthier than I've ever been with my other littles. And that is really what is so amazing. I've been talking to Michelle all through her pregnancy. She has some other friends. We have, people that we know who are also pregnant at the same time. So they're all going through pregnancy together. And just how Michelle feels eating cleaner compared to, kind of taking the perspective that I did. When I got pregnant with Caleb, it was like, awesome. Now I can eat all the things. It's like owed to me during my pregnancy to eat as much junk as possible because it doesn't matter how much weight I gain. This is the one time when it's completely fine for me to just gain a crap ton of weight. And I did.
You have to lose it.
You have to lose it. And also, it was uncomfortable. I was it was painful. I had so much swelling, and I see Michelle being able to still enjoy the things in life that she enjoys doing. Like yesterday, they had a hunt test with Jenny. She was able to actually get to the next level. Now she's like a junior in the field competition. So super excited for her to get her first title, as a Gordon setter. But like, that's important that Michelle still gets to walk those like miles and miles at 35 weeks pregnant. So I'm super excited that because she's eating the way she's eating, she's able to enjoy things all throughout her pregnancy.
Jody said, I had an uncomfortable conversation with a vegan friend asking, how can I murder animals? And all I can say was, yep, I'm a hypocrite. If what I eat doesn't look like what it did when it was alive, I compartmentalize.
Yeah, I mean, we were at like Costco, I guess, yesterday or Saturday, and I saw like fish that had the face on it. And I, looked at Joe and I was like, that's the hardest thing for me. It's very hard for me to eat like a whole fish because I'm like, oh, it's got a face and it's just like, look
I think everybody needs to do it once.
I think that everybody needs to do it once. I take time to, make sure that we're visiting the places where we're getting our food, we're raising our chickens. It's very important to us that they live a good and healthy life. So I honestly think that if you're keto or you're carnivore, I think that we have more of a respect for animals.
So,
it's important that they're healthy and happy.
We have 3 more left, and I want to get into the chat a little bit, but I have started watching, again, Alaskan bush people.
Okay.
So the last series, because now the father has passed away.
Yes.
And so there was one in the episode that came out on Sunday where the mom is talking to the second oldest son, who has become like the dad for her.
All right.
And they live in Washington now, and they have this ranch, and they've got longhorns, and their whole thing is to make this a sustainable ranch, like sell animals. They're raising longhorns, and they've got these babies now, and he looks at her, and he was like, what do we want to do with the other bulls? Mm-hmm. And she's like, sell them. And now again, these are people who like have lived out in the bush.
Right.
Okay, now, yes, they did have generators and stuff, and, Discovery Channel didn't present it the way they actually live, but that's besides the point.
They were rough enough. Rougher than I'm willing to live.
So, anyway, she was like, we're going to sell it whole. And he's like whole, like I'm just going to slaughter it. And she's like, no, like walk away whole. Because she's like, so here's a woman who lived in the bush, and she's like, I can't. They're still pets. And he was like, listen, just tell me which one I can't slaughter. Like, we need to have one. And then one day you're going to come out and Big John's going to be gone. It's just, right? Yeah. But I'm watching this other show called The Last Alaskans. And it's about this area in a corner of Alaska that in 1980 they said, nobody can ever inhabit here again. Wow. So there's, I think, 6 or 8 cabins like left where people have homesteaded there, and they can live there for 100 years. Them and their children can live there for 100 years. Wow. Okay, but after that, like no more permits. Nobody can ever move back into the area. So if you're there, your family is there for 100 years, then everybody's got to leave. You got to leave. Right? And so I was watching this one couple, and they kill a caribou. They go hunting and they get a caribou and they bring it back. And when you talk about nose to tail, he was showing, again, ruminant animal, 4 stomachs, and he's emptying out the contents of the stomach, and he takes it down to the stream, and he's washing it out. And him and his wife sit there and start eating the stomach raw. And they said this is one of the best parts of the animal. Wow. They literally even eat the stomach. They're not using it to make sausage. They're literally picking it apart and eating
that is hardcore.
After they cleaned it. Yeah, that is hardcore. Because it's full of stuff. But I think we all need to at least witness the slaughtering of our food once. Yeah, just to have an appreciation. It didn't come from Walmart. Right. Next one is from Candace. Hey, Candace, how can you get a CGM without a prescription? Oh, Candace, why do you have to ask Joe this? I hate this story. I've looked around and no luck. My doctor will not prescribe one. Okay, so first of all,
Can you give us the condensed version
Okay,
of your
first
thing
of all,
why are you choosing
I'm
this?
sorry, Candace, but shame on your doctor if you have an A1C of 6.2 and he won't give you a CGM.
Yeah,
Like,
that's terrible.
As far we are not doctors nor
No.
health professionals, but as far as I'm concerned, that right there is malpractice.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion. That is not Rachel's opinion. Okay? That is Joe's personal opinion. You have an A1C of 6.2, which is at minimum pre-diabetic,
Yeah.
and he won't give you a CGM, a prescription for a CGM. That to me is malpractice.
Yeah.
So that leads me into tell your doctor, I want you to notate, you don't even have to say anything. You've got an A1C of 6.2. Go back to your doctor, say, I want you to put in my chart that I've requested a CGM. I'm willing to pay for it. It doesn't even need to go through my insurance. I want it notated in my chart and give me a copy of it now, please.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're telling him that when you do get full-blown diabetes, you're suing him because it's his fault for not giving you the tools to help prevent it. So
my armpits are getting sweaty, Joe.
Okay, now you can also call up a teledoc.
Yes.
We use Sesame Care. We're not affiliated or anything.
No.
But we got like a membership. It was like $35 for the year. It gives you a discount.
The whole family could go.
Yeah, everybody in our family can use it. Call up there if you just Google through Sesame Care or any of the teledocs and say I'm looking for a diabetic teledoc, and many times they will write you a prescription. We had one write us a prescription for it with no labs. I just said, listen, metabolic disease. I want to monitor my glucose. Okay, we'll give you a prescription. You can also use NutriSense or other companies like that. We have a discount code for NutriSense.
Yeah.
You pay more money. However,
Okay.
You get some advantages to it, and you don't have to go to a doctor because they give you the prescription.
Are we done?
That's malpractice.
We're finished with that one?
Yes. I'm not saying what Dr. Berry would probably say.
Okay.
Next one's from Canetta.
Hey, Canetta, what can you do when you just stop losing weight?
One of two things, or several things. Lower the total carbs, move more, not eat less, move more. In way of moving more, just move every day, lift heavy things 2 or 3 times a week, do some type of strength exercise, which can be simply push-ups, pull-ups, squats, and planks. That's all you need to do. Also, if you're under-eating, do a reverse diet.
So, and there's a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of times and I know this is, since you talked about that thing, I'm going to talk about my thing, which is journaling. Journal. It's not just a case of I'm winning or I'm losing. There is something that I can do within this 24 hours to get better. I know that there is something more that I can do today. Leave in the chat, leave in the comments, what are you going to do this week to be 1% better? What is an area that you know, I'm gonna work on this week. It could be I'm gonna move more. It could be I'm gonna lower my total carbs. It could be I'm gonna stick closer to triple B and E. It could be I'm gonna lower the amount of coffee I'm drinking. I'm going to, buy a couple of glass containers to start heating my food up with. What are you gonna do this week? I think we all know there's something that we can do to get a little better.
Yeah. One more is from Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer.
Said this completely made me think of you, Rachel.
Aww.
If you have good thoughts, they will shine out of your face like sunbeams, and you will always be lovely.
Jennifer. Oh my gosh. Like, that's a really nice thing to say. What my prayer is every single morning, now that you got me crying, is that people will see out of my face the love that I have for them. I want people to always see in our videos that they're loved. That's what I want. That's what I really hope. I hope you know that as you go into this week, that there isn't nobody that cares for you. It isn't that like nobody is cheering for you. I hope that you know that you're on my heart every single morning. And it's one of the reasons that helps me to get these workouts in and to get them in first thing, because I can begin at 5 a.m. and I can be thinking about this community. I can be praying for this community. I can be hoping for this community. And that is my great desire, that when we sit down or we are on the move and you see a vlog or you see us speaking someplace, that you know I am loved, I am seen, there is somebody out there that I am on their hearts, because you are on my heart. So thank you so much for saying that just really kind thing. I appreciate that.
John, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Said wanted to say hi and hope everyone is
Hey.
doing great. I know I am.
I'm so glad to hear that, John. That is awesome.
Okay, let's jump into the chat real quick. Denise said, my hubby and I went to Texas State, Brazil to join
Woohoo!
our anniversary dinner on Saturday due to Joe and Rachel's recommendation.
Thank
Had an amazing
you.
meal. Loved the pecan.
Well, happy anniversary to you two young lovebirds. And I'm so glad. I think the picanha is awesome.
Jody said, Rachel, your hair reminds me of going roller skating
Yes!
freshman year, circa 1981.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so anybody that put roller skates in the chat if you could roller skate backwards, because that was always my thing. I always wanted to be able to roller skate backwards. It was only 1 or 2 times at the height of my roller skating.
I did it, but I didn't do it on purpose.
I mean, didn't you always want to participate in the slow roller skate around the ring?
I didn't have anybody to do that
with your part. I would have totally roller skated with you backwards.
I know.
I just want you to know that any day that you want to roller skate backwards, I'm all in, baby.
Okay.
Hey, Matt.
Matt is here. Said, I've been resisting getting rid of keto breads and tortillas for a long time, but I gave them up recently, and I'm seeing the scale move more.
Got this. You're so stinking awesome. Yes, it's a trap. It's a trap.
Future Breeze, can you relink the mug bread? It is on our website. It's difficult for me to do it without Rachel getting mad at me.
If one of the moderators doesn't mind putting it in again, you just have to grab the link for the YouTube video.
Yeah, Sabrina said, I made psyllium husk hot dog buns for our wiener roast yesterday, just considered to be a holder. This was the first time I'd made it in a long time.
That's awesome.
So, again, we have a lot of hot dogs because I'm
A
going
lot.
to... We actually made the hot dog recipe video, and I've now scrapped it, and we're redoing it because I feel like I could have made the video better. And I've also learned more things since making the video. We've nailed the recipe.
That is
the
biggest thing to
we
me.
actually gave it to Tasha. We gave Tasha one, John Paul, and every one of them
Anthony.
said, this is a hot dog. I honestly want to say, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I want to say in a blind taste test, you couldn't tell the difference between this hot dog and a Costco hot dog.
No. Yeah, it tastes a lot like
now,
that.
The Costco hot dog does come back to you for the next 6 hours.
You're burping it forever.
But I mean, flavor-wise, I think we have nailed it. But I've learned more things. We've decided we prefer cellulose wrappers. Now, we several times in the video said cellulose is plastic. I've discovered cellulose, although it looks like plastic, it's not. It's actually made from wood pulp.
How cool is that?
Which makes it smoke permeable.
Yeah.
So, anyway, what I have discovered that I really like is I take an Egg Life wrap and I roll the hot dog in an Egg Life, put a little bit of cheese, just a little bit of cheese in an Egg Life wrap, and then warm it up for 20, 30 seconds to slowly melt that cheese. Then when you take it out, put some ketchup or mustard or whatever your toppings are. We put dill relish inside of it. Roll it up, the cheese binds it, and it is delicious.
Becky says we need to send some of those hot dogs her way. We absolutely will. But it was so funny. So we left out saying that we let Caleb try it. We absolutely let Caleb try the hot dog too, and he also had nice things to say, but I never
say Caleb because Caleb could think it's the grossest thing in the world and it doesn't want to hurt my feelings and is going to say, that was really awesome, Dad.
He would be like, I love you and you look so pretty today, right?
Yeah.
He's that encourager.
Our kids are so funny. John Paul is in the middle, but
Anthony,
if you want to know the brutal truth,
ask Anthony.
Anthony is going to, don't worry, we're getting back to the boxes with Anthony. I'm trying to get Rachel to let me do things live with him, and she's like, no, that kid is never going live.
All of that.
But Anthony will give you the brutal, honest truth. Anthony, what do you think of this? That is disgusting.
That is terrible.
But I worked 15 hours on it. I don't care. It's disgusting, and you shouldn't even feed it to the dog.
Right.
If you want to feel good about yourself, ask Caleb. Caleb will somehow put this is the most delicious thing in the world, tell you how awesome and how proud you are, and then go in the bathroom and throw it up when he's not seeing him.
Yes.
But when you walk away from him, you feel amazing.
Amazing. Which is good.
The insight to our kids.
You need all three.
Mary
Angel.
and Jane said ground beef and eggs is still technically steak and eggs.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm eating like a queen these days.
No fillers, no fake food.
Which is why we're working really hard on our own sausage. We love sausage,
We love
especially
sausage.
because sausage is like an on-the-go, grab and go. It's easy to do. And there are some very clean sausages and hot dogs out there.
You gonna pay
but
for
they're
them.
very expensive. I mean, those Teton hot dogs, I'm tired of paying $17 for a pack of hot dogs, and we need like 5 packs a week. I mean, they're just too expensive.
Miriam is so right. Anthony and Caleb are black and white different. They absolutely are like, they're the yin and yang of our children. They're absolutely, I mean, they worked. And the funny thing is, they work together really well. I love seeing them hang out. Like, Caleb always gets, even his haircut, right? So Anthony's like surfer dude. Caleb looks like he's always going to a business meeting. I mean, the amount of suit jackets that gentleman has, right, for his age, he will go to college in a suit jacket. He's just like Mr. Businessman. So it's just funny to see them together, but they're really fun.
Yeah. Betsy said, as Wendy may be referring to eating too much protein like Dr. Boz talks about, we have to remember Dr. Boz is working with very sick people
Yeah.
who there is a reason she's trying to have them eat lower protein. But overall, we need to be eating more protein. Dr. Berry has talked about this as well. Dr. Berry says, like, what is the absolute minimum amount? Your current body weight in kilograms, and it's probably not enough. So if you weigh like 140 pounds, you're talking about like 70 grams, 80 grams of protein. And again, that's bare minimum and probably not enough. 100 is a good low point. 80 is an absolute minimum. But I think we're just too held up on the numbers. Dr. Boz is working with people who are very sick.
Chris said, I just realized that Rachel is Deb from Napoleon Dynamite. Absolutely. Would you like to play some tetherball? I'm all into tetherball. We had a tetherball thing. That's the one with the rope on it, right? That's tetherball, isn't it? Is the one that it's like it's got a pole and then it has like the rope and then you would hit the volleyball around in a circle.
There's certain things we can't ever have in our house.
Yes, the bare minimum, the BAIR minimum.
Mary Jane said we need a vlog of Rachel's work. The problem is I am not getting up at 5 a.m. to follow her.
Do you want to see that? Well, and it's so funny. Right now
it's dark out.
It's super
I would
dark.
have to go with lights.
Yeah, because it is super dark out, but yeah, like I can show you how I do what I do.
John said the only downside for carnivore is the adjustment phase.
Yeah.
The more messed up your body is when you start, the longer the adjustment period.
Very true. I feel like every single year we are continuing to feel better about it. It's like the longer you do it, the easier it gets. But yeah, when we were first starting out, like even the thought of doing triple B&E, we wouldn't have done it, right? Because it was just like, no, I have to have this, and that.
Yeah. Nicolette, can you give a quick explanation of carnivore? What is carnivore and what is avoided? Is cheese carnivore, things like that?
Oh.
Carnivore is anything that comes from an animal.
Yeah.
Okay?
So some people would
Honey
say
is not carnivore.
because but
it's their vomit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
It's
and there's
not
pollen
being
involved.
produced from them itself.
Right.
Okay. But meat, cheese, butter, that's all carnivore. A word of caution. Stay out of all the carnivore Facebook groups.
Oh, don't go in there.
Okay.
Don't go in there. It's very scary.
If you want condo commandos on steroids, go into a carnivore Facebook group.
Yes. Seriously.
We work really hard to make sure there's no keto police in our groups. We have some amazing moderators.
Yes.
But
they make it safe. Thank you, guys.
But what people consider, like, you will have people say, if you drink coffee, you're not a carnivore.
If you have garlic.
You are putting anything other than salt on your food, you're not carnivore. If you're using pepper, that's how fanatical people get.
Some people don't even like the cooking methods. Like, carnivore should be, like, raw almost.
Yes.
Like, I mean, how crazy you want to take it? You know, like, they will take it to the crazy.
If you want it, like, at the root of it, if your food is from an animal, you're eating carnivore.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, spices can cause issues because they're anti-nutrients. Remember, spices garlic, onions, all of that stuff. Well, onions really wouldn't be carnivore unless you're just using a little bit of onion powder. But if you're eating onions, that's not carnivore. But if you're putting spices, remember, they're coming from plants. Plants don't want to be eaten, so what do plants do? They poison us. They poison us. They poison all animals that eat them. Many of us eat a lot of antitoxins or anti-nutrients, a lot of plant toxins, and that can negatively affect you. So it is something to look at. But cheese and dairy is carnivore.
It was from an animal.
It's from an animal. With that being said, it can negatively impact your journey, especially if you're like me and you eat way too much of it.
Yes. Shauna's right. Moderators are the anti-keto police.
Yeah.
That's right.
Tony, what is your thought on blueberries? I've always thought they were keto friendly. I bought a bag of frozen blueberries and they say 17 total carbs per cup. Okay. Rachel's gonna
gosh. Oh no, I can't look.
If you are eating blueberries that are in season, grown
I'm looking for his
in
face.
your area,
okay,
have some blueberries.
There you go.
Should you eat a cup of blueberries? No. That's the problem, is everybody thinks that, like, oh my gosh, I can have berries. Strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, they're unlimited because they're keto friendly. They're just lower in carbs.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they don't have any carbs. A serving of strawberries is like 2 strawberries. Who's only eating 2 strawberries?
I don't want 2 strawberries.
So my
More
opinion
like
on fruit
15.
is, if you're going to eat some of the lower carb fruits, you should only eat it when it is locally grown in season. If it cannot be locally grown in your area, even if you're not growing it. Now the best would be is if you're growing it in your backyard.
They'll taste better too.
If it can't grow within your area, you probably shouldn't be eating it. If you live in New York, you probably shouldn't be eating an orange because you can't get oranges locally. They don't grow locally, period. They just don't. Prior to the invention of, trains and all that stuff that would get this stuff to other countries or, into other, across the country, you wouldn't have had it, okay? Somebody who lives in Maine probably was never eating an avocado, ever. There was no way to get it. And that's where you have to look at your
My
fruit.
other recommendation,
but you have to really limit it if you're going to have stuff like this.
Make sure, especially if you are somebody that's eating berries and stuff, make it as part of your meal. Sit down and have that stuff in a meal. That is really not the item that you want to be eating in a jar, like in front of the television set.
And have a serving or less. If you're going to treat yourself with a couple of blueberries on a pancake,
use it, in a recipe. That's when you're going to get the most of it, because that may make you sad too if you're like, okay, I'm going to have it as part of a meal. I'm only going to have like 2 or 3 of them. But if you use it into, like you're saying, make our keto chow pancakes. Those things are flippin' delicious. And then add a couple blueberries into it, especially like the blueberry cheesecake keto chow.
Yeah.
Make pancakes with that.
Robin said, new to your site.
Hey,
Are you
Robin.
guys nutritionists or dietitians? Self-taught, very interesting info.
Thanks, Robin.
So, no, we are not doctors, nurses, or health professionals. We both lost over 100 pounds on keto. We've maintained it for 5 and 6 years. We have learned a lot from self-awareness, experimenting on ourselves, talking to people who actually are doctors, nurses, or health professionals. I am also a certified health and wellness coach and actually studying to take the boards right now. But we are not nutritionists or dietitians. I'm just a certified health and wellness coach in primal eating. That's where my certification is, for primal eating, which is
Proud
the way
of
we
you.
eat. We eat primally,
I'm
right?
proud of you.
There's Becky saying that. Risa, I've got a package of
Risa.
pumpkin spice Oreos, and they have no fiber. 21 carbs. See, I told you, 10 carbs in a cookie.
Are you serious?
21 carbs in 2 cookies, 12 grams of sugar. I bought them for my son, who is not keto.
Yeah.
He loves anything pumpkin spice.
That is fascinating, though.
And I did that. I was like, well, 10 carbs. I'm eating 20 a day, so I can have 10 from a cookie.
I am honestly surprised that it only took 2 cookies. 10 total carbs in a cookie. A single cookie. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm shocked at that.
Yeah, and that's why I stopped doing it. We're going to get off.
Susie says, non-scale victory, I'm drinking black coffee again. Big win for me. That is a big win, Susie. As from one coffee drinker to the other.
Okay, Michelle, I've seen a couple people saying this. My Mighty Networks app says my membership is still pending. We don't approve memberships. If you want to join our Mighty Networks, you have to do it on the website.
Yeah.
Either go on a computer or what you need to do is you need to
Go
go
on your phone?
on your phone to like the Safari or Chrome app, and then you're going to go to members.twocrazyketos.com. It's completely free. Once you do that, then you can download the app. I think it actually gives you a way to download the app, and then you put in your password and it puts you in there. But we have nothing, we don't approve anything.
Everybody's
As
welcome.
soon as you go to members.twocrazyketos.com and sign up for either the free or one of the paid groups, and the paid groups is just a way to support us,
Yeah.
then you automatically get put in. It's not like any kind of, we have to go in and approve it. It's not like Facebook joining our group or something like that.
Yeah.
Betsy said, is Julie here? I'd love another messenger friend.
Oh,
so there you go,
I love
Julie.
that. Way to go, Betsy. You're
Okay,
so
anything
awesome.
here at the end before we get off?
So good. Everybody's saying
Congrats,
congratulations
American
on her
girl.
pregnancy. I love that. You guys are the best cheerleaders for one another.
Juju said, plain Oreos, 25 carbs for 3 cookies, so a little better.
There you go.
I will be careful, quiet on that one. Monica, my
Hey,
challenge
Monica.
in the morning, dawn effect glucose always in the 120s. I wait till it goes to 80, then I eat. It may take hours. It amounts to longer fasting, helps my cravings
How
and hunger.
interesting.
That's fine, but don't worry about having a dawn effect. You're
Yeah.
supposed, Dr. Berry talked about it, the proper
It
human
means your
diet.
body is working.
You're supposed to have a dawn effect.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with eating. You don't have to wait for it to go down. It's supposed to go up in the morning.
I love how you guys are talking about
If you
some of
eat
the
it, probably will come down faster anyway.
the back on track things that you're doing. Finishing October sugar free. Man, I love that. And I believe next week is the 31st. Is that right?
Monday.
Yeah. So we're going to
Halloween.
be on Halloween together, which makes me so stinking excited. So we're going to be there. The hardest day of the year, well, 2 days. The hardest 2 days, I think, for avoiding candy stuff is October 31st and November 1st when everything goes on sale.
Yep.
To avoid it.
See, Matreya said, I asked who eats 2 strawberries. Matreya, me.
I
I eat like 2 strawberries, mostly because that's what my little strawberry patch puts out for the day. In season, in a hot summer month. So, basically what you just said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
and that's the way you do it. If you want berries, the best thing you do is go to
Grow
a wild
'em.
patch or
Yeah.
grow them yourself.
yeah.
John said, I occasionally add a quarter of a cup of frozen mixed berries. To my,
Nice.
yeah, and again, if it's once in a blue moon, but what happens is a lot of us, and I'm putting myself in here, when I got started, we were like, oh, berries are keto, and it was every day.
Yeah.
And again, who's counting out and weighing out blueberries? Not most people.
Well, I count them out like this. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Just
Yeah.
like that.
Oreos, Juju, who can eat just one? It's
As a
one
sleeve.
sleeve for me.
That's
So no,
exactly what
I'm
I
with
thought
you.
was a serving size was. They came in a tray, right?
Right.
And it was like multiple trays. And I was like, as long as I just keep it to one sleeve, one tray, I'm fine, right?
Okay, here's a great question before we get off.
Hey.
Santa said, are you satisfied with your current weight and body composition after 5 years? Are you where you want to be? Overall, I'm happy. Do I think I can improve? Yes. Did I gain weight from COVID and not moving as much? Yes. I will tell you, like right now, I'm trying to find my happy place with movement. For many years, my movement was landscaping and sports officiating. This year, I'm moving away from landscaping, passing our business off to Anthony, so I'm only landscaping like 1 or 2 days a week at most, and I was doing 5 days. This is the first time in 17 years that I haven't officiated youth football, which is 9 hours or 8 hours on a Saturday. And I'm not officiating a football game 3-4 days a week. So I'm trying to find that place to put that movement that I used to have. I got to find a different way to have that movement and in our schedule. So do I want to improve my composition a little bit? Do I want to drop like 10 pounds? Yes. But overall, am I happy after 6 years? Yeah.
I'm very happy and super thankful that I have sustained the 100-pound weight loss this long.
Yeah,
that's and maintain it. I understand, and what I grapple with is because of the fact that we've lost that big amount of weight, that you don't throw up giant numbers anymore. You know what I mean? That I don't have a year go by where it's like I lost another 20 pounds this year. I would like to probably go down 10 more pounds, but at the same time, I'd like to put on some muscle.
Right.
So,
So you're not gonna go down 10
So I'm
pounds.
probably not going to go down 10 pounds. I may even gain some weight, but I'd like to put on some like toning. But again, that's going to be continue eating what we're eating and then start doing some, more strength training.
Yeah, for me, I'm 10 pounds heavier than where I generally was before pre-COVID, for those 4 years. I'm 10 pounds heavier than that. I'm one size higher than where I ever was. So overall, I'm pretty happy with that. If I maintained here for the rest of my life, I would be super happy because I have better metabolic numbers than most people who are healthy or would be considered healthy, that are skinny, that have always been skinny. My metabolic numbers are better. I'm in these smoking forums and not smoking cigarette, but like smoking meat forums.
You definitely want to
right?
like make
And
sure.
people you have to have this
You
whole
identify
bio, and
that.
people are like, well, tell us. I'm like looking for how to make cleaner sausages. And they're like, well, add sugar. And I'm like, I don't eat sugar. Well, add these vegetables. I don't eat broccoli. I don't eat potatoes and rice, because those are a lot of things that you put inside of sausages. And they're like, well, what do you do? Well, I eat 95% meat. And in a smoking meat forum, you get, that's not super healthy. I'll put my metabolic numbers up against anybody who says they're a healthy person. I'll put them up against marathon
I feel
runners.
like you're a keto ambassador going into a whole new space
Right.
that
I'm
we've
gonna
never
create a whole bunch of
traversed.
carnivores in a sausage making
Let's do
forum,
it,
so.
one ribeye at a time.
Okay, guys. Rachel's going to get her nails done. We're going to Universal Studios. We will be back on Thursday for our live stream. We also have vlogs coming out this week. We have a recipe video coming out this week. We have some product reviews. So back into the swing of things. A lot more videos coming out. We're really excited about it. Make sure you join us for our live stream on Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
We love you guys.
Bye.